Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, how people are using broccoli in an unexpected way.
Also, girls are declaring themselves boys sober in 2024 and more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
I don't know if you've seen this. There's a trend going on in the dating community among women that are declaring themselves boys sober.
Is that good?
Good for them, I guess. Boys sober, if you just think about it for a second, it makes total sense. Boys sober is where you just swear off of dating generally. But I do like the people that have pointed out that, like, for many women, and I guess for guys, sometimes this can be true too, is that even if you are single and you're not dating, you're often in a situationship. You've always got like kind of somebody that you're kind of mingling with. It's like a, something or, whatever. And so boys sober, if you're truly boys sober, that's like completely like the rules. There's rules to being boys sober. No dating apps, no dates, no exes, no situationships, and no hugs and kisses.
And how long are they doing this for? I feel like girls do this pretty frequently. I feel like this is a recurring thing. Like, I'm never going on a date for the next 3 months. I'm not talking to any more boys. And then, like, a week goes by.
Yeah. Then they're
feels like I've heard this before.
Right back on the cart.
Feel like I've heard this before. The very first comment on this TikTok is, "I'm folding, sis."
It's tough. How can they resist the allure of men? I don't know. It's too tempting, but it's aspirational. It makes sense. Sometimes you do. You got to get sober. You got to clear your head before to really know maybe possibly what you want, instead of constantly having something that's a possibility. And I think that wears on you a little bit. So sometimes you gotta get clean. You got to start over. You got to get a fresh start. And so I like the boy sober idea, but I think Isaiah's right. If you're gonna start claiming this, particularly on social media, you got to be honest about it. Like,
if you say this,
you got to stick to it.
If these words coming out of your mouth,
yeah,
you got to stick to this for a long time.
That's right.
I don't want to see you dating anybody.
I
don't want to see any dates.
Yeah.
No dating apps. None of that for multiple months. She said she's doing it for the whole year.
That's a big undertaking. But if here's the other thing. If you declare yourself boy sober and you stick with it for a while, and then somebody comes along that's just too much for you and you get drawn back in, then that might be the sign that that's a pretty good guy, and that maybe it should work out. And maybe then boy soberhood has served its purpose.
Don't you think that every time that they went boys sober and they've met some guy that they thought was gonna figure it out,
yeah,
it's always ended badly? Because what happens? A couple months later, they're saying, "I'm going boys sober again."
I don't know. You could say that about all relationships until you find,
for most men,
like, all relationships end badly till they don't.
For most men, they don't even choose to go girl sober.
That is true.
They just are girl sober.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Isaiah, I've got a side hustle for us, a money-making venture that we can get into. Step 1, we got to go barefoot all the time.
I'm
everywhere.
out.
Now, come on. It's going to be worth it. Listen.
No, I wasn't even barefoot as a child. I'm well known for not going barefoot. I can't go barefoot. I'm out on it.
You got to go barefoot.
I'm out.
It's integral to us making money this way.
I can't do this one.
Step 1, take your shoes off. Step 2, start an OnlyFans. Step 3, sell pictures of your feet that are always barefoot on OnlyFans.
It seems as if you're always trying to convince me to start an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It's like once a week, you're like, you know what we need to do? Start an OnlyFans.
Because I want you to be financially stable. And I
don't want to start an OnlyFans.
I think this is a way. Listen to this. You could be making this guy here. Who's the fool? His name is George Woodville. He makes up to $1,200 a month selling pictures of his feet on OnlyFans. And what makes the pictures of his feet remarkable is that he has not worn shoes in 3 years, so his feet are pretty nasty. And most of the pictures of his feet, the ones that are big sellers, they're just him out in public places with his shoes off. And so you're seeing his dirty feet in like a park or whatever, and then he sells those. $1,200.
There's somebody who's buying them, which is even worse.
That's right. Yeah. So who's the fool here? I don't think you can blame him if people are willing to pay for it. But you do have to. He says the reason that he goes barefoot all the time is for his mental health. He says that 3 years ago, he wanted to this is a quote, experience the whole ground.
I don't even know what that means.
It means being barefoot,
Experience
brother.
the whole ground.
Yeah.
Like the dirt, the grass.
Yep. The linoleum when he's in stores. Yeah, he says that like if he goes into stores and stuff, you usually just tell him like it's a medical thing, and I guess that works. And
I mean, yet again, those cash registers got to be like, what medical condition could you possibly have?
No, but
you can't wear shoes.
You don't want to be the cashier that gets shamed online for kicking this man out of your store either.
He's like, it's a medical condition.
Who's it really hurting for him to be barefoot in Walmart?
It's gross. Nobody wants to see that.
Somebody does. They're paying $1,200 a month for it.
Yeah, but I don't want to go through Walmart and see you barefoot next to me, touching the same floors as me. Like when he goes over to people's house, he would never be invited to my house.
Yeah.
Walk into my house with your bare toes out, no chance.
And they're not even
right back out the door.
They're not
you
even
go.
clean bare feet.
No, they're dirty.
It's like some people take their shoes off in the house so that they don't track mud everywhere. This guy'd still be tracking mud everywhere by the looks of it. I'm just telling you, this is clearly a seemingly harmless way to make money. I don't know. Maybe it could be harmful feeding these people's addiction to dirty feet because that feels weird. I'll say it.
Feels like that shouldn't even be available to him.
Yeah. And I don't know why. There's nothing technically wrong with anything here, but it's just weird.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
It's time for some conspiracy theories on the Riot. And this one Hudson's going to hold very close in his heart.
Okay.
I think you're going to like this one.
Convince me.
Have you ever heard of a place called Wakanda?
Yeah, of course.
For the movie Black Panther.
Uh-huh.
Well, the latest conspiracy theory making the rounds is claiming that we at one point in time on the planet of Earth had a similar society to Wakanda. Called Tartaria.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like Atlantis.
That would be way cooler.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was obviously real. It's a conspiracy theory here.
Yeah.
But this highly advanced civilization was founded somewhere in Central Asia. And it created many things like the pyramids of Giza.
No, it did not.
That's what they said. That's what they claim. They said it was also powered by an unlimited renewable energy source and filled with architectural marvels.
Okay.
And you might be wondering what happened.
Yeah, I was wondering that. Where's this unlimited renewable energy source?
Well, it was wiped off the map by an apocalyptic event, obviously. Initial thoughts.
I mean, it sounds kind of kooky. Why did that get wiped out? And yet, the pyramids of Giza stood the test of time?
Apparently so.
Yeah. But the people
didn't make it.
And their unlimited renewable energy source, gone. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, there are
all of that vast knowledge, too.
There are some pretty big name people who believe in this one.
Oh, really?
Like jiu-jitsu legend and instructor Eddie Bravo.
Okay. Don't know who that is.
Well, he had a conversation with Aaron Rodgers, who spoke out on a podcast claiming that even he believed in Tartaria.
You're telling me the football player my hero, my childhood hero, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's a fool.
He brought a Super Bowl to Green Bay. You couldn't do that, believing that this kind of bunk, could you?
I can't believe
how many MVPs.
He said a lot of wild things. This might be the dumbest thing he's ever said.
Yeah, this is making me question everything. And I don't mean question whether I believe Tartaria is real. I mean everything I've ever believed about Aaron Rodgers.
All of a sudden,
yeah,
the pyramids of Giza are kind of big.
Yeah, so, some of the other stuff I can let slide. Some of the wild things, his crackpot theories, is just running off at the mouth. I'm fine with it, but this is a little out there, even for him.
It also makes me laugh too because they came up with incredible structures, such as the pyramids of Giza, to the White House. Like what? That doesn't make any sense.
How did it even get here? If it was in Central Asia, first of all. Second of all, those are very vastly different architecturally speaking. Like way different.
The White House is like a normal building.
Yeah, that's right. Any architect, I mean, well, I don't know of any architect, but I don't know if it's particularly noteworthy.
Like if it fell down, we could rebuild that thing.
Yeah,
and it would look the exact same.
That's true. I don't know. The pyramids of Giza, we could figure it out, but
it would not be the same.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd want to. There's a lot of people died doing that.
Like I would love for something like this to be true.
Mm-hmm. Would you?
I think it could be cool.
Why?
It would make for an interesting little conversation for a couple days.
Yeah.
If something like this came out and it was true, obviously they'd be gone now.
Yeah.
Because of that apocalyptic event. And it doesn't affect us, but it could change the history, the way we look at it.
Yeah.
But clearly this is just blasphemy.
Everything we know upside down. Also, if they had this unlimited renewable energy source, why, if that has any validity, why aren't we just constantly on the hunt for that? We really think that got wiped out completely?
And they would really waste their time building pyramids.
Yeah, right. I don't get it. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully he still wins.
He's making a fool out of you, man. You got to get on the line with him and tell him.
He's a good football player.
He's making a fool out of you.
Maybe this be the key to being a good football player, is believing nonsense.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
A beauty trend for you that's going around on TikTok. This one feels like it might be close to your heart. I'll tell you why, because it revolves around freckles. And I know you got a few freckles on you.
I think I do have freckles, yeah.
Yeah, you're a freckly guy. So how do you feel about people using broccoli to give them faux freckles?
I know that freckles are in.
Yeah.
But why the use of broccoli? That makes no sense to me.
Because you think about the head of broccoli, right? Is that what it's called, a head?
Yeah.
You think about the head of broccoli, if you were to look at it and then put like the I guess, I don't know what the word is, concealer, I don't know, a dark shade of whatever, a darker shade, you put that on top of the broccoli and you kind of roll that over your cheeks there. It gives like the perfect naturally freckly look. It looks very convincing if you do it right. And so that is why, like, it's the perfect tool for giving yourself freckles.
I've never understood giving yourself freckles.
Why are you ashamed of your own freckles?
I'm not ashamed of it, but are freckles like cute? Do they add that much?
Apparently some think so, which is, I guess, ironic because in previous times, people would use makeup to possibly hide their freckles.
And now they want them?
Yeah.
And they're using broccoli to do it?
Well,
I've seen like the filters and stuff that give you freckles.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never understood the lure of freckles.
I don't know. Well,
I've never looked at a woman and been like, her freckles. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it's not always about you. It's not always about appealing to us as men. But to me, it feels like a grass is always greener type thing. All the straight-haired girls want to have curls. All the brunettes want to be blonde. All the non-frecklers want to have freckles.
Like, imagine walking in on your wife.
Yeah.
And she's got a big thing of broccoli. And she's pressing it against her face. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. This is how you find out that her freckles were a lie the whole time.
The whole time you guys have been together.
Yeah. I thought you were. I fell in love with you because of your freckles, and now you drop this on me. How do we
Like,
go
let me ask you
on?
this.
What other lies have you told me?
Let me ask you this. Does your wife have freckles? Do you know?
I don't think she has prominent freckles. No, not noticeably.
I don't think E does either. But
Yeah.
yet again, I don't know. I
Does
can't be
it say
certain.
more about about the freckles, or does it say more about us?
See, I think that
that
talks
we
about,
just don't
it's,
even
it's
know?
the freckles because there's lots of things that I know about her.
But I know that you have some freckles.
I don't know how you know that. I don't even know if I have freckles.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen a few freckles on you. Feel like you're kind of freckly.
I don't know, man. I think I am.
You're not the most freckly, but you got a few.
I just think that it's one of those features that just people don't even notice. I can't name
unless
3
you
people.
unless you got a lot of freckles.
Yeah.
And the people that got a lot of freckles, I don't think are very proud of their freckles.
Yeah, like, do you want to be known as the freckly guy?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something I want to be.
And then, like, how many people can I name that are kind of freckly? I think 0.
You want to be in that sweet spot where you have enough freckles that you have some, but not enough to where you're known as a freckledy person.
Too many freckles.
Thanks for watching the worst of the Riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more Riot.